I have a question from Sweden, one more. Is there any limitations of the usage of Domibus? We are wondering, is it possible to use between agencies within Sweden that does not have anything to do with the European Commission? I mean, is it open?
So as far as I know, it is open source. Domibus is open source. It can be used by anyone. Regarding the support, I know that Domibus offers support for public administration, but not for private.
Like if a university or a hospital would like to send our agency information, it could be done by Domibus.
As far as
if all are public.
The answer is yes, it is open source and it is publicly.
Okay.
For Domibus, there is an informal network, and there is a community where they can join and ask questions and be part of the community. So I think that if someone wants to know more and get involved, then they should send an email to our support team. So the question is if we plan to support PostgreSQL in the future. I think the answer is no. The decision was taken a while ago, but I don't really remember the reason. If you want, I can check and tell you more about the support. But I know we don't plan to support it. Still, we are using Leaky-Base and generated SQLs. They are so I think it wouldn't be very difficult to adapt the SQLs to work with Postgres. So another question is if we plan to support the publish subscribe pattern. I am not sure I understand the whole context. Maybe Fabrice, you can unmute your phone, or if you can explain a bit more what you mean by publish subscribe pattern.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, the question is if I want to subscribe to one message, so message type. So if I receive a message, I don't have to make a query to retrieve the response. So I get notified directly that there is some message for me.
So on the plugin side, I will go here. On the plugin side, the plugin is either can be a pull or a push. So you can have the GMS plugin is a push plugin in the push mode, and it can notify when a message is received. And you can have multiple plugins installed on the same access point. And then in here, you can configure. You go here and click on edit. You can configure that certain messages, you have these 4 parameters, from, to, action, and service. So messages with a certain action and service will go to the web service plugin, and messages with different action and service will go to the GMS plugin. And you can subscribe to the GMS plugin to be notified when a message was received. So this is the filtering that we have on the plugin side.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I can add something on publish subscribe. It's Mihna from Udamed.
Okay.
So we are aware of this kind of requests. There is a specific side of Udamed that will handle vigilance. And vigilance data, it's normally more seen as very urgent, and it should be multitasking. So Udamed be able to notify potential listeners. So I think from here, Fabrice, is coming your question to publish subscribe. When will will reach vigilance, we will see if Udamed will notify by push messages. So a way of emulate publish subscribe. But yeah, we are aware of this also. I'm not sure if it's okay to publish the answer.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So do you have more questions?
Hi, Ioana. This is Mike. I really just have one kind of sort of a higher level question. I must admit that the content of the webinar this afternoon wasn't quite what I expected, as I was expecting something more specific to Udamed. But obviously this, and please, if I'm using the wrong words, correct me, but this seemed to me to be as a proof of concept of the connectivity between access points using the Domibus application. Is that
Yes.
Is that a fair summary?
That is correct. The webinar was not specific to Udamed. I'm sorry if it was not communicated properly from the beginning. This is a webinar that we deliver to our Domibus users. And the specific of the morning session was to catch the aspects that were specific to Udamed. So indeed, for any point that wants to conform the connectivity to our activity platform. From my point of view, I think it can be a starting point for any backend system that wants to integrate with Domibus to have quickly up and running. You can try to send messages and to connect. So this was the purpose of the webinar.
Okay, so I mean, in terms of, I mean, because obviously for a lot of the manufacturers, because I'm representing COSIR at this meeting, a lot of our manufacturers will be using a third-party supplier to deliver their information from their back-end system to the Udamed database. So all this connectivity in terms of the access points would be done by the third-party provider, and we would just be sending our XML files to our third-party supplier, and they would be inputting that into the access point and then passing it through to the Udamed database.
So I think so.
Ioana, I can answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's now from Udamed. Yes, it's true. If you plan to use a third party, he will be seen as access point, and you will have to send your data to the third party, and that third party will be in charge of sending your data on your behalf. Some aspects were covered in the morning session when we were talking a bit of the security and the tokens that they need to share with us.
Yeah, because I think that was kind of a little of what I was expecting in the session this afternoon. Was a little more detail, because my question really is that, I mean, we, according to the instructions, we have to request an access point as a manufacturer, but then we don't have to create the access point functionality.
Exactly.
That would be done by our third-party supplier. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So we would
grant it for you to obtain to this enroll. You will obtain your own keys that you personally will hand it to a third party that will use those keys in order to send messages. So those security information is only shared with you or as a manufacturer, as a LAA of the from your account of your actor, and you can handle those to a specific third party that you mentioned into the. So we will check the security as long with the endpoint from where we receive the information. And it's also a way for us to validate the third party, because unless they don't have one request for a manufacturer or a user to be there, to be your third party, then it cannot be entitled to have an access point.
Okay, so we as a manufacturer request the access point and you give us the keys. Do we pass those keys on an ongoing basis with our information to that third-party supplier? Or are the keys held in the third-party supplier and we identify ourselves by some other means in our records that we send to the third party?
You handle the keys to the third party, and he can manage the keys when sending information. So you are entitled to manage your keys, and the third party will use your keys. It's like you're giving you part of the certificate to the third party that it will use when sending each message. When send data for you. So
okay, so they will have a like a database of these keys, and for each manufacturer that sends them data, they will then decode those data coming in from each manufacturer to the specific tokens that are needed to apply in the access point to send the data across.
Yes, something like that.
Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. That's much clearer now. Thank you.
You're
God, who is making all that noise? Nobody.
Nobody.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Joanna. That was a very useful session. Appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you very much. You know the joke, right? With nobody.
Oh, yeah.
It's who's there? Nobody. Nobody. Who.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for following the steps. And we have one more question from Fabrice. That the URL on WebGate doesn't seem to work. This is an internal link from the Commission. Mihnea, maybe you know.
Sorry.
This is the URL that we received this morning. So which URL do we have to use then to ask access?
Of course, the acceptance UDAMED is not public yet. I know there is a playground, but I don't know if it's. I don't know the status. So sorry, I cannot help you. I can ask my colleagues if this is accessible or not. I don't know.
Fabrice, just to check if you got the same message as me. When I use that URL, I get to the Welcome to UDAMED.
Yes.
And then when I enter, push the enter with EU login, then I get the access denied. Is that what you're seeing?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I thought it was me, but obviously not.
Same for me in Sweden. I talked to the IT guys, the network guys, and they said that the server in Brussels that blocks us.
Okay. Can you provide another URL then?
I will talk to my colleagues to see if the URL or the status of the playground is the status, because it might be also an error or an issue, or they redeploy it. It's a playground. It's not something that we are in production.
Yeah, because we would like to do some tests to exchange real messages, in fact, to know the response to requests.
So if you want to exchange data, this will be available when we start our playground in data exchange. This means at the end of June, start of July. What you can do in the meantime is to request to have you provisioned. I mean, your internal e-delivery compliance solution needs to be configured in our USend solution. So as Ioana shown you. So this is what you can do in the meantime. So to handle for today, to handle the onboarding process.
But therefore, I need a PMOD file. And
No. First, you need to register into our e-delivery, into our Udamed's application. You fill in the form.
Yeah.
You fill in all the data, and then you will be contacted by the USend support. You'll be able to configure your PMODs. So USend support will provide you all the details that are required for you to properly configure your access point in order to work with Udamed's access point. So the process for onboarding, it can be started today. For the moment, if you cannot access the playground, you can send us an email. You had the content of the email, I think it was provided in the morning, in the section in the morning.
But yes.
Send us to the Udamed's support functional group email, and then we will forward this to USend onboarding team, that they will contact you and they will help you to set up your environment. So this is the flow. If you cannot do it to the application, send us an email if you don't want to waste time until we have this application up and running. We don't know what's happening. I told you I'm not aware of this link, or if it's good or whatever. We need to check internally.
We have to fill in a form, I suppose, and then we have to
normally the flow would be to fill in a form in the application. I think Sylvia in the morning shown you the place where you need to fill in the form. But if you cannot access that form, send us on Udamed's support functional email. Send us an email, details, and we will contact you.
We will receive the form that we have to fill in the coming days, I suppose.
Yes, by email.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that's everything from my side. Thank you very much for the presentation. Much appreciated. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice afternoon. Bye.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you too for answering the Udamed specific questions.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you very much.
See you in another session.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, bye.